How's it going, everybody? It is me, 138 MMA, and I am here with Michael Aswell, who you may be familiar with. Just fought recently on the Contender Series against one Bogdan Grad. Came to a close split decision, and I am very much looking forward to hearing his take on that fight, what he thinks after going back through that, and then kind of getting a vibe on where things are headed for him in the future. So, Michael, how you feeling today, man?
I'm feeling great, man. Feeling blessed. Body's good, mind's good, and I'm feeling really well.
Awesome, man. So we were chatting a little bit on Twitter and in the YouTube comments before this, and we'd kind of talked a little. And you had said that you'd watch back your fight with Bogdan, and I guess I kind of want to start with that. Like, what are your thoughts after watching that fight again for probably the second, maybe third time?
Yeah, so I've seen it twice. I saw it with my girlfriend a couple of days after, and then I saw it with my coaches a couple of days after. And I mean, I think the same thing, still is true is that, we can't let it go to decision. I felt that I wanted the fight, and I felt that I looked, you know, better, but like it's all optics, and just things that the judges see. They see the last 30 seconds, so you just gotta finish stronger, just so it seems um, optically better for the people watching or the judges. But I think I fought well. I think it's the best I've ever looked in any of my fights. I definitely a lot of things I could have done better. Mixed up or but in the heat of the moment, you're kind of just in battle and you're going with things that are rolling, working, and kind of just, you're trying to flow and just trying to, put together whatever you think is there and feels right in the moment. But I
Yeah,
think, overall, it was a great fight. Dana said it was the best in Contender Series history. So, it's hard to be, get too hard on myself, and a lot of people think I won too. So, I mean, like, I'm not too upset with how it went. I think, I accomplished what I wanted to going and fighting. And, I got to talk to Dana one on one in the back after. So, it's not a bad day.
yeah. I mean, when Dana White's talking to you afterwards, and saying it was one of the best fights he's seen in Contender Series history, if not the best, that's a good sign. And for me, obviously, I thought you won, but I also was biased because I picked you to win, so there was that. But at the
Right.
same time, the stats also suggest you won, and I don't know if you've looked at the stats at all, but
Yeah. They're
you
kind
had
of
him
all
beaten
over,
on
though.
everything pretty much,
Yeah.
except
I
for
mean,
control
I've been
time.
looking at like different like places and like they have all my numbers all out of
Hmm.
whack and stuff. So I don't know which one's which, but I know I threw a lot of punches and I know I landed a lot of punches.
You definitely landed a lot of punches, and
And
it
they
says
say
that
that
you
you
outstruck
landed
him
a
in every
lot,
round.
but I didn't really feel like I got hit too much.
Yeah, to me, it was clear you took the first and third. The cut in the
For sure.
second is what probably gave him the second, but that
Right.
was to me. But then again, a lot of people said that the takedowns are what got it for him. But he had three takedowns
Interesting.
with a minute and 32 of control time. So it's not really a good stat. You know what I mean? Like it's so I don't.
I mean,
And what's funny is you actually outlanded him in ground strikes even. So
yeah.
you know.
I mean, you watch the takedowns, right? I'm down for like 30 seconds at most with no
Hmm.
really damage being done to me.
Yeah, yeah. So it was close,
I don't
and
know. Uh,
I'm sure Dana thought you won. It sounded like he thought you won, but
That's what he
it was a
told
good
me.
fight nonetheless. Have you heard anything from the
He
UFC
told me in the
since?
back. I was like, they just came and filmed me the past 2 days.
Oh, sweet.
Right.
Looks like you got your back.
Yeah, sorry, I just got out of my car.
Yeah, your phone probably tried to reconnect to your Wi-Fi or something and lost it. But
Um,
so you said that the UFC had been out to record you.
okay, my bad. All right, we're back. We're back up in here.
You're good, brother. Duty calls, right?
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay,
Oh.
what were we saying? What was the last thing you said? I guess we're
Okay,
good.
so yeah, you said that the UFC had been out to record you, and that's when we kind of lost you.
Oh, okay, yeah. So, yeah, they're doing it. They do a documentary series. I don't know if you've seen it. It's on ESPN Plus called Contender Series Next Level. So,
Okay.
yeah, they're just doing some filming and stuff. I guess in preparation for you know anything that happens. But I haven't talked to like matchmakers or anything like that. No one of that sort. So, I mean, the last person I talked to was Dana,
Hmm. And it
and
sounds like he's looking for you to fill in sometime, right?
yeah. So he said when the back, first he was just like hell of a fight, it was awesome, and then I was just like 30-27, like, are we serious? And he was like, yeah, I thought you won 29-28. And then he was just saying that, I'm gonna pay you your win money, your show money, and we'll give you a bonus. I was like, oh shit.
That's nice, right? Can't go
and
wrong
he
with
was,
that.
and then he was like, I talked to Sean Shelby. He said, anyone falls out, like you're literally number one in line. So he's like, your next fight's gonna be in the UFC, and just stay ready. And yeah, we're excited to watch you fight. And I was
So,
like,
like,
cool.
in the event that something falls out, are you looking at like exclusively featherweight matchups, or if somebody's like, "Hey, we got something at 155," you looking to take that? What would it work for you?
Yeah, I do both. I'm good with both. I'll just stay ready for 45 and then make 55. It just makes it a little easier. I mean, it don't matter to me. I was trying to fight Drew Dober in Denver.
Oh, there you go.
Like, that's
So,
how desperate I was. Like, I already knew I had my contender series fight,
mhm.
but I was just like, hey, if something opens up, like, I'm ready. Like, even that Marshall fight on the 24th, we fought on the 27th. I just told my manager, like, yo, hey, I'll step up if they need somebody or whatever.
That's
And
what you need, right? When you're trying to get in, you just got to take whatever.
yeah, I mean, I'm cool, and I mean, I don't mind taking any. I think I hold up cardio wise in any short notice fight. Like, I don't think I'd gas in a short notice. Maybe I might be a little more tired than usual, but I think I'll be just as fine. And then yeah, I mean, I really don't care. Like, I like to fight, and I don't mind fighting whenever. Like, just tell me when, I'll pull up. Just tell me what I got to do, and I'll do it. So, yeah. So when he told me like you're next in line, I'm like, good, because I've been waiting for a short notice anyways. And all these dudes, or not all these dudes, but my manager's like, no, no, someone else got it, someone else got it, someone else got it. So now I'm next in line. If I say, hey, I'll take that one, then it's got to be yes, right?
Yeah, exactly. And you mentioned your cardio, and that was kind of something I wanted to ask you about as well. Your cardio, that's fine. You bet you get that a lot with it as well. Like, oh man, that's
Yeah.
my bad. But so I wanted to ask you about the cardio because your cardio is fantastic, and every single one of your fights, you just never look like you're actually tired. Like
No,
you could tell you've been in a fight, but you don't look tired. What are
right.
you doing for your cardio? Is this like a natural thing, or do you do something specific?
I mean, I think it has to do with just a lot of just sports growing up and just working hard, like at a young age and just kind of developing it. I mean, I've always felt like even playing football, I played offense and defense. It's like I never came off the field, so it's just having to adjust and having to be able to go for as long as possible. Like I don't know, my mind's just always like, you literally just keep going. Like your body can do way more than it really thinks. It's really just your mind and your brain telling
Hmm.
you that you can't do it. But I mean, it's just a lot of work putting in. Like I run, every day, and then mixing it with sprints and stuff. And I can't give all my secrets away, but
Right.
it's just the way you control yourself and just one that you like own in on your own body, and you just kind of got to figure out what works for you. Some people just exert a lot of energy very quickly, and don't know how to regain it, or they don't know how to use they don't know how to use their energies and their levels. And I don't know, it's really like a science to it that I can't even break it down. It's like the smarter people above me can break it down and tell you a little bit more about it. I just tell me what to do and I'll do it, and I just work hard, and then cardio kind of just follows by
Yeah,
itself.
I mean that makes sense. I mean, and like you said, you've been doing it pretty much your whole life. Because from my understanding, you started doing a lot of like team sports when you were pretty young. Is that correct?
Yeah, about 6 years old, probably when I started 5, 6. I mean,
I mean, if you
baseball,
build
I
up a
was like,
cardio base since then, like it does make sense. But man,
yeah,
that's your cardio is incredible. The output you can put out is fantastic.
I
'Cause
threw
most
like
people can't do.
330 punches or something.
Yeah, yeah, just that's it. You're just putting you're putting out like 100 punches in like a round. It feels like maybe
Yeah,
more.
in the third, I think I threw like 100 and something.
Yeah, in the third you threw 126, which is insane. That's insane. According to UFC stats, 126, which is in the third. Like that's the round you should be tired, but you're just out there like
Oh,
putting up record numbers.
that was hilarious. Dang, I didn't even realize it. And they asked me, two people asked me, like, did you realize, like, in the fight, like, how crazy it was? Like, did you realize, like, I was like, I had no idea.
Dude, it was
I thought
crazy.
I was just winning the whole time. Honestly, I really thought I was just sticking and moving. I don't know.
Yeah, other than the cut, I think you pretty much won everything. Like,
That's what I feel like.
yeah, yeah. I mean, a cut is one thing. Like sometimes you judges just love seeing blood, and they're like, "Oh, the other guy wins that round." But outside of that, you won pretty much everywhere, in my
Almost all
opinion.
the exchanges, pretty much. I mean,
Mhm. I
checked a
kept
lot
hearing the
of things.
commentators say you need to throw more hooks and stuff, and I was like, "No, man, these straights are landing clean. Why would he start trying to like give the guy more space? You know, like because if you throw a
Yeah,
hook, he's going to get in closer to you. He's got those stubby little arms, dude. You were sticking him at range."
that's what I mean. And that was kind of the game plan. Just kind of be faster, kind of be longer, just touch, move.
Hmm.
And he's gonna be throwing a lot of home run, Hail Marys. And it's like the only way I saw him beating me really was him landing a big shot or something. So if I just didn't get hit by the big shot, we're good. But I
He had
wanted
a
to
couple
mix it up.
wild
I was trying to
kicks.
mix it up high low, but like I said, it's hard in the moment. You just like you said, like it's working. Why? What did I keep throwing?
Yeah, why change it? It was
He
working.
he keeps throwing the one too. Well, like it lands every
Yeah.
time. I landed at such a high clip.
When you watched it back, did you watch it with the commentary?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
When me and my girlfriend watched it, we watched it with the commentary. And they're
Does that frustrate you hearing that?
yeah.
It would be too. Because it
Oh my god,
was
like.
working. I was Bisping was, or I think it was Bisping. When
But
he
no,
like,
but see, but like Cormier eventually was like, well, it's working, so what can I say? I was like,
yeah, like how do you like? You just throw more hooks. What do you mean throw more hooks? Like, dude,
right.
just
Or
sticking
like
him.
I'm watching it and they're talking and they're freaking, oh, you need to do something else. I'm like, you go in there and do something else.
That's exactly right. And
That's
it's
like that
not like
Mike
you're
Perry
not
video.
landing,
That Mike Perry video.
dude. Because I
Uh,
was watching. I was getting frustrated for you. I'm like, what are you guys like? Like, because
I know they
I
were
mean,
making me look bad too. I felt
yeah,
like, it was almost like instead of like more positive reinforcement, like, oh, he keeps landing the 1-2. It's like, why is he throwing the 1-2? It's like, bro, come on, like,
dude, why is he throwing the one two? Because it's landing, and this dude
right,
has no
like
answer for it.
he needs to throw something else, like as if it wasn't working or something, or making it seem like, it just gives a bad perception off on my like, it makes me
Yeah,
seem like way worse than what was actually happening. It's like, why doesn't he move out the way or counter or why is my footwork work? Why didn't they talk about how good my footwork was?
exactly. Or they should have
Like,
asked like, why isn't Bogdan Grad blocking the one two? It's
right.
like your most basic combo, just one two down the middle. Well, are you gonna block it? No. Okay.
And that's the thing. Like, I didn't even show any of my game. Like, I really just punch. I just boxed the whole time. I just showed my boxing. So
Mm-hmm.
you don't
And
know
you
what I
did
could
great with
do,
it.
and you don't know. I didn't even have to do extra to win the fight. I feel like I won the fight just on a 1-2.
It looked like it to me, and I think it looked like it to most people.
And I get
And
it.
that
Like,
actually
it's a
brings me to
business. You
another
gotta
question.
finish your skills.
So you did an interview with my buddy Mike from the Couch Warrior podcast a while ago, and on
Oh
there
yeah,
yeah, Mike's a good buddy of mine, and you'd mentioned that you have an MMA boxing coach and a boxing coach.
yeah.
So you divide those up, it sounds like, but you don't compete in boxing, from my understanding, correct?
Uh,
Okay, so what are you really deriving from that boxing specific coach that you're not getting from the MMA boxing coach?
so like, it's like boxing itself is a sport.
Hmm.
So it's like all the martial arts we have to learn are all cut up. We're doing jujitsu, we're doing wrestling, we're doing kickboxing. Muay Thai kickboxing is different than kickboxing.
Hmm.
We got regular, but so when you study the art as itself instead of like people talk about MMA boxing and regular boxing. Like oh, it's so different. So like
Very
I
much.
really went into like focusing on just let me just look at the boxing. Like let me just do my research on boxing, what they do, and the thing with my boxing coach is he doesn't do MMA, right? So he's like,
Hmm.
look, I can show you these things that we do in boxing, but it's not gonna work in MMA, right? Like you can't really roll or duck, right? Because you got knees and kicks coming at you. He's like, so we're not gonna do that. We're gonna focus on things that work in the striking department for MMA, like the 1-2, the in and
Hmm.
outs, the movements. Even if I was watching my fight and I was like so proud of myself for like turning and just angles and switching. I was landing in southpaw. I was throw a combination and turn out of his way. He was, if you notice the fight, he was chasing me the whole time. We're in a circle, we're going around in a circle, and he was constantly trying to find me.
And a
And
lot of
that's
that
what I felt
stems
like I
from that
did well
footwork.
with my boxing. Yeah, 100%.
Hmm.
It's all that, and like you said, boxing and MMA boxing are different. So right when I'm doing MMA boxing, it's more, hey, we're gonna box, kick, strike, this is here. And it's almost taking my boxing and then combining it with my MMA, and that's just kind of what we do. Because my boxing coach is going to be like, throw a kick here or low kick or check, right? Or sprawl, because he just doesn't, that's not his expertise. His expertise is
Right.
boxing, boom, moving, head movement, constant movement, so that's why you see me moving a lot. When I'm
Mhm.
working with my boxing coach, he just make me run around the ring constantly. Just keep running, throw combos as that's a little bit of difference of what our how I see it. You gotta find the martial art, learn the martial art, tweak it a little bit, and then make it to your own little rhythm and style and stuff.
So do you ever? Okay, so when I used to train a lot more regularly, and now it's I'm getting old, whatever. But when I used to train more regularly, a lot of times my old coach used to say, always train everything together. Now there's different schools of thought. Obviously, for you, it's different. You have a boxing coach, you have a MMA boxing coach. You do things separately. My coach said it's always MMA sparring, it's always MMA training. You never separate the martial arts. What do you feel like you gain differently from breaking the martial arts apart, as opposed to just training them all together all the time?
I mean, the thing is, when I started this game, I only had one coach,
Hmm.
and that's why you see the foundation I have. I only had one coach for everything. My coach also at least coached every martial art that you needed. Besides wrestling, I wrestled in high school. But he told me, he's like, hey, go wrestle in high school, do that, and then when make sure you come use that when you come and spar and stuff over here. So since I was like 15, 16, I've only had one coach since I was till I was like 20, 21 until he passed. So like that's how I grew up. That's how I learned was only
Hmm.
one coach, one style. I never went anywhere else. I wouldn't even look at another coach. Like it's all I needed. He knew everything. He was the man, and everything he said, is like my Bible. I studied it. I said it, and he told me what to do. I go do it. So so once he kind of passed, and I just kind of been figuring out. I've been going to Kansas City. I was back and forth, Houston, trying to figure out best place for me and stuff. I just needed. I had to divide it up. I had to kind of figure out, who all my people are going to teach me what, Coach Shaw was teaching me before he passed and stuff, So like, I was never going to find someone that was going to be able to do what he did, to be able
Right.
to teach me all, under one roof. And, nowadays it's not as old school as it is. You got different people here, different people here, people are going different places. So it's more just finding where I think what's going to most benefit me, finding the people that I think that are going to be around me, or they're going to elevate me and help me and push my game. And I think just individually doing it is, it really just teaches you that martial art and kind of just helps you grow. But like you said, the hard part is that why they don't want you to, mix it all up or divide it all up is that when you're just focusing on one, like my last fight, for example, I was boxing heavy.
Hmm.
You end up boxing, right? You forget about your kicks and you forget about your knees and your elbow, and because you're so heavily focused when you divide it up. But I'd be lying if I said the game plan wasn't just to outbox him. Like
Right.
that's why we didn't really kick. If I threw kicks, he was gonna be looking to catch him and take me down, and so we were just staying boxing ready, ready to wrestle when the time needed, because we knew he was gonna be shooting. And we knew that I was gonna hit him, and I was faster, and he was gonna be shooting, trying to hold me down, and I could. I mean, honestly, I probably could have wrestled just to like mix levels and to make it, change levels, make them think about the takedown and stuff. And it's just like I said, when you're in there, it's just like you're not even thinking. You're just
It's yeah. People like
flowing.
often outside they think like, oh, why are they doing this? Like I've had a couple of amateur fights like over a decade ago, so it's
Yeah.
like it's not fresh in my mind, but it's one of those things where like I remember specifically looking back and being like, why in the world did I do that?
Right.
It's hard to like rationally take the time to think it when someone's trying to take your head off. It's
No,
I mean
literally, yeah.
it's
Like, and
hard.
even the coaches are in the back, like, do this, do that, and then someone's throwing a punch as they're saying this. I'm like, oh, okay, I will. Just give me a
Yeah,
second.
yeah.
Like,
You're like,
yeah,
sure, yep, get right on it, got it.
yeah.
Like, and
Give me
sometimes you
give me a
can.
give me a minute, and then you wait a minute, and then the round's over. I'm like, God damn it.
Yeah, exactly. So it's hard from the outside looking in to be like, or it's easy from the outside to looking in, but it's hard from the inside looking out to be like, well, yeah, I mean, I tried to do those things, or I wanted to do those things, but I was a little
Yeah.
preoccupied.
5 minutes in the cage is different than 5 minutes watching me be in the cage.
Definitely, definitely. That's another thing. So this actually brings me to another thing that I thought of. You cornered for someone else when they were on the Contender Series before. I can't remember who it was, but
Yep.
you've done the cornering before, yeah?
Yeah, I was in Jacob Silva's corner
That's who it was. Yes.
on his second Contender Series fight.
Is it
Um,
harder for you to watch your friends and teammates in there in the cage than it is for you to actually get in there and fight yourself? Because it
oh,
always was for me.
it's the worst. Yeah, it's the
Dude, it's
worst.
so nerve
I
wracking.
like when I fight. I don't really care. Dude. Like I feel
Mm-hmm.
like it's like it's another day. When they're fighting, I literally like feel what people like when people ask me like, "Are you nervous?" I'm like, "Not at all." But when my friends fight, I get what they're talking about. That feeling
Mm-hmm.
of like, ugh.
Like your heart's beating super
When I
fast.
fight, I do not care. I really could care less. But when they're fighting, I'm like, oh, I feel terrible. Like, I feel like I'm gonna throw up.
Even when you like, you know they're gonna win, you're like, oh, they've got this in the bag. And still, there's just like that nervousness. I get it.
Well,
Because
you
some
just
people
like
don't have
for
that.
like
Yeah.
yourself, you could control, or you feel like you can
Mm-hmm.
control it. Like I can control if I win or lose. Your friends in there, you can't control nothing. It's on them.
Nope.
So it's like, all right, let's
That's
see
yeah.
how this is gonna go. So I bet my friends watching me fight and all my teammates were spazzing out because I
Oh
was,
yeah.
like it was like ooh
Especially in that fight.
one
I
of
mean, that
those
thing was a
fights.
war. So
Yeah, that
yeah,
was
your friends are
crazy.
probably like sitting on the edge of their seat, heart
That's what,
racing,
that's literally what everyone
sweating.
has told me so far. They said that was the craziest. Some people have told me that's the craziest fight they've ever seen, like ever.
It was pretty wild. It's up there. It's definitely the craziest one in Contender Series. That's for
Oh
sure.
yeah,
I mean, there's been
I
a
mean,
lot of fights in the history of ever, so it's hard to say. But that was a darn good fight. Let's put it that
yeah,
way.
yeah.
But yeah, okay. So a couple more things. I won't keep you all day. I know you're trying to watch some football today. Is you had so all of your fights prior to the Contender Series were for Fury FC. Is that correct?
Yep.
Even your
Even
amateur
amateurs,
fights, right?
all of them.
So
Still
first off,
babies.
that's wild. Yeah, there you go. Like, I mean, you got to be part of the company. Like, do you own part of the company by this point? Like,
I'm trying. I'm working on it, bro. They're finally
there you
letting me
go.
They're finally letting me commentate, but I'm trying to.
That's awesome. Like, dude, because you're like the guy. Like, you're the Fury FC guy. Like,
Oh
when
yeah,
you like you're the poster boy for that promotion. It seems like.
I built them, bro. I sold the
Yeah,
most tickets in history. Oh yeah, bro.
absolutely. So,
I sold over $250,000
wow.
for
So,
sure.
like, they have you to thank for their growth. I would say,
Yeah,
in
from
part, at
moving
least.
venues and yeah, I did a lot for them. But I mean, they helped me out, and we all talked to each other just about where we wanted to do and how we wanted to move and fights and stuff. So I mean, they were good to me, bro. And
Mhm.
Eric is like that's my boy. But like I said, they see me since I was 17.
Yeah, yeah. Because when you started out your amateur career, that was like you said at 17. Did you have any idea you were going to just pretty much exclusively fight for them until the UFC came calling?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, he was up and coming, but my coach was like Eric's one of the good ones. Like most of these promoters you can't really trust or mess with,
Dude, yeah.
and he's in Houston. He's local, so like it's almost perfect. Like you don't have to go nowhere. You don't got to stress. Like Fear's always gonna be in Houston. Like the Contender Series fight was my first time out of Houston,
Yeah. That's
ever fighting out of
crazy.
Houston. Yeah, that was my first time. So I had a blast. It was great. I loved it. Being in the casinos and that was
Oh,
awesome.
right. Yeah. Are you a gambling man?
Oh yeah,
There you
unfortunately.
go. That's what's up. Are you gambling on the football games today?
Yeah, the Texans. Yeah, the
There you go.
Texans got some players to score some touchdowns. I asked
Okay.
Dana after the fight too, before he left. I was like, Dana, before you leave, like, can we play blackjack? He was like, save your money, kid.
Ah, come
I was
on.
like, that's
What a
some money.
guy.
I was
That's
like,
hilarious.
man. I was like, why don't you just pay for me to play blackjack?
Right?
Give me ten
So
thousand dollars.
so obviously with you fighting for Fury the whole time, I usually ask fighters when I get to interview them what is like the craziest thing they've ever seen on the regional scene because there's some crazy stuff. Like
Yeah.
it's wild. But you probably don't have too many. I mean, Fury's a pretty like they're a pretty like tight knit organization. They're not like probably not like crazy stuff. But I'm sure you've run into some weird fighters and some weird stuff. What's the
Oh
craziest
yeah.
thing you got?
Well, I'll just say this: my first ever amateur fight. Like this is how crazy it is. 'Cause I didn't forget it. I forget everything. I'm 17 years old. And I remember, weighing in and stuff. And there was just one fight. Like this guy was 40 years old, but fucking like jacked to the gills, like literally looked like he was on roids. And he was fighting this guy, a younger guy. And at the time I didn't really know what was going on. but they weighed in. He's a little, way littler than him, but they're fine at 170. Somehow that jacked ass dude made 170. Other dude, was like 67, whatever. Is kind of flabby. And I'm gonna fucking kill you. I'm gonna murder you and your fucking family and shit. Like, oh my god, bro. They're going at it like weigh-ins and shit. I'm like, dude, I have no idea what's going on right now. This is fucking freaking nuts. And yeah, there's a lot of God. Yeah,
So
there's
much crazy
but that was
stuff.
the first time. That was like literally my first ever weigh-ins. Anything. I didn't even know what to do, what to expect. I know who was who. I was just weighing in and shit. Like something crazy. I threw up like a 4. For whatever reason, it symbolized something to me when I was a 17-year-old kid. But that's the name of the gym that I train at now, Four Ounce Fight Club. And they're like, "Do you train here? Like, who are you?" Like, I was like, "No, I did. I don't know." Like, I was just when I was throwing up, I just looked cool in the camera. Like.
That's too funny.
Yeah, now the circle is back. Now I'm training with them. So
That's pretty wild, huh? Like, dude, you
yeah,
just like they saw that they go, "This guy's got to come train with us."
no, that didn't work like that at all. But there's like, who the fuck is this kid? A little amateurs, like never seen me before. Like that's kind of wild how that worked out.
Because your first amateur fight that probably wasn't even that long ago. Like, what was that? 20, what, 6, 17?
18?
18, yeah. So that wasn't even that long
May.
ago. So, like, things were probably pretty regulated by then, huh? Like, you guys probably had to do like, pre-fight medicals and stuff, even as an amateur. Yeah,
Hmm.
it's wild. That's awesome. That makes it a
Yeah, and
lot
that's the
less
thing
chaotic.
too with Fury. Like I felt like they make you feel even as an amateur like you're fighting like a professional already. So like when you go and fight pro, it doesn't really feel any different. It kind of feels like the same. Usually, when you make that jump, you're like, "Oh, whoa!"
Mhm.
Like it's a big, jump for some people. Like I remember when I turned pro, like I mean, I was kind of forced to just because of COVID and stuff, and they were like, "Hey, like we're not gonna have amateur fights for a while. We can't really regulate them, but we'll have pro fights." And I always had my tickets sold in advance. So like 3 months out, it was all the tickets were already sold. So like we're like, oh well, I guess they're like, well, you can fight.
Bro,
You can wait 9 months or you can fight in 3 months. You already have all your tickets sold. So my coach was like, you're ready to go. So went ahead, turned pro at 20, and had my
there
first
you go.
fight.
And so, like, in Texas, because I know every state has their own kind of, rules and regulations on like
Right.
different stuff. The difference between amateur and pro there. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Amateur in Texas, you're not allowed to throw elbows and stuff like that. Is that correct?
Yeah, no reinforced knees, so you can't
Mm-hmm.
like grab someone's head and then throw a knee, and then no elbows. Yeah.
Okay, because so I'm in Nebraska, and in Nebraska it's way different. Like amateur and pro, the only difference is the round length. Other than the like, it's 3 minute rounds for amateur,
Hmm.
and then it's obviously 5 for pro. Other than that, like you can throw elbows, you can knees, everything. There's nothing different.
I like that too.
It's wild, but like when you transition in other states from amateur to pro, is it hard to kind of like, oh, I can throw elbows now. Oh, I can do these reinforced knees now. Is that like a hard switch for you?
Yeah. I
No.
mean, I guess that's probably why I don't throw as many knees and elbows because they didn't make me when I was an amateur.
There you go.
No,
See?
I'm behind. I'm catching up, having to learn how to throw knees and elbows.
That's awesome. But hey, now once you get those elbows going, dude, you're gonna like you
Oh,
start
I
crushing
know.
these guys.
Oh, I know. I know. I've been working on them. I really have. But like I said, like I tell people, like when you're in there, it's all muscle memory, right? Like for
Mm-hmm.
the most part. I mean, of course, when you start like locking in and you're really feeling like in the zone and you start like opening up yourself a little bit and you start throwing cool things and that's where you see all the fun stuff come out. But at the end of the day, your mind's always gonna go back to what it's comfortable throwing and what it's repeatedly comfortable throwing. So once my body starts getting comfortable just throwing it in certain positions and stuff, it's gonna start flowing. But I've been working on everything. That's why when I go back and watch, I'm like, oh, bro, I was working on so much stuff that I just started boxing.
Your
But I
boxing's
mean,
good though.
boxing looked good though. The
Yeah.
footwork, I was so happy with my footwork and how I moved, and never, he always wanted to come forward, and I never let him. I just kept cutting the corner, cutting the circle, and we just kept playing on the circle, and he just kept kind of following me. That's why I feel like I had a lot of success.
And if you can keep like continuously pouring on the volume and like the output in the third round, like you did in that fight, there's not many people that are going to make it through that third round. He did, but like barely. That third round
Bro, I
was
almost finished him. I almost dropped him with like three
this
body
close.
shots. Bro,
Mm-hmm.
I saw his face, and, like, ooh, that one hurt. Like, I felt it. Oh, it was so frustrating. I'm watching it, dude. I get so mad, bro. I'm like, fucking go, like, and I had so much juice left too. It's like I
Yeah.
literally could have gone. Like, I don't like. I'm like, what am I doing? Like,
If that was a 5 rounder, there's no way he makes it to the final bell. You looked like you were just getting warmed up.
oh
I mean,
yeah, oh yeah.
Other than that nasty cut, you were
Yeah,
looking
the
great.
cut.
Like
Oh yeah, I
slick.
felt good. I felt
Yeah.
good. Like yeah,
Dude,
no.
so I mean, if you can keep that pace on these guys, like you're gonna be a problem for a lot of guys in the UFC because
I
not
mean,
many people can keep that pace. Like I was saying, dude, your cardio is fantastic. That pace is
yeah,
amazing. So
yeah.
when you get to the UFC and you start doing like, is that like? I mean, you don't give me all your secrets or anything, but is that kind of the style you want to keep going? Or are you gonna like, or like, do you want to try to not have to go these 3 round wars with people, or do you like the fun fights? Like, how do you like that?
I mean, it doesn't matter to me. I'm gonna fight regardless. But like I'll say like this when I've been talking to my coaches, they're like, "Well, if you keep fighting like this, just know that your life expectancy in this game is not very long. So,
True.
let's try to, if we gotta wrestle a fighter, so like let's implement our wrestling. 'Cause I started off as a grappler. Like I never even boxed
Yeah,
growing up. I started off as a wrestler, jujitsu like fighter. Like if you look at all my amateur fights, like I just wrestled the whole time. Like I remember one time in an amateur fight, I think it was like my third one. I had like 20 takedowns or something.
that's insane. 20 take, and I bet
Like
you weren't even tired because
I just
it's just
kept going. I mean, yeah, we just kept freaking, So I
that's
was like,
insane.
okay, well, I definitely need to get better at holding someone down because they shouldn't be getting up every time. But I did just keep taking them down. It was almost like Khabib against who that Trujillo guy, maybe I think when he had like
Mhm.
21 takedowns or something
That's
or
insane.
20.
So
Yeah,
many takedowns. Like
yeah.
the takedowns
So
are exhausting,
that's what I'm
especially like
saying.
people
Yeah.
resisting it.
Like that's why like wrestling is nothing. I mean cardio. I mean like compared to boxing is nothing compared to the
Oh,
wrestling
for
cardio.
sure.
Like bro, I could have boxed for like 10 rounds. Like honestly, like I really felt fine. I could have stand and boxed all day. It's when you start wrestling and incorporating that and exerting all your energy and your muscles doing all that. That's when you start getting real tired and stuff. So
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so I got one more question, then I'll let you wrap up and I'll let you get watching your football.
cool.
The question is, okay, in the gym you train at, with 4 Ounce Fight Club, right?
Yeah.
Give me 2 fighters there that are on the come up that you think are gonna be something in the near future. Guys, gals, doesn't matter. Weight class doesn't matter.
Okay. Definitely my boy Justice Torres.
Okay.
He's actually fighting for my Fury belt, the
Oh no
145
way.
belt. He's fighting for it in October, I think second week of October.
Okay.
So he's definitely right there on the cusp. We've been training together. We trained at Metro together coming up and stuff. So like we kind of just been having like we got the same record, same everything, kind of just just following each other's footsteps, kind of helping each other get better. And we're both at 4 ounce now too. So just kind of I was just trying to lead by example, even though he's older.
Yep.
But just we talked about it. I'm gonna get me, like you said, I'm like the Fury Golden Boy. So I
Yep.
was like, if I won my fights, I'm gonna get the title fight, and da da da. So, but I just did made it the most of my opportunities. So I'm excited for him to go do his thing. He's gonna do great. And then I'm actually good at two. I got two more.
Okay.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
4 ounce. One's Hector Signs. He's also fighting on. Or no, he's actually fighting September 22nd.
Okay.
155 guy. He's fighting Trevin Macklin, who's also a good prospect. So that's gonna be a good fight. And then my boy Alden Korea. He's 125er. He trains with Josh Van,
Oh, nice.
and they go at it in the gym, man. And that boy Alden is really good. So I'm excited to see him fight. He probably needs one or two more, and then he'll probably make a big splash. He's really, really good, man. So
There we
there's a couple
go.
guys we got coming up, and then we got me and Josh in the UFC right now coming up. So we're excited for the gym. We got a lot of young guys coming up, and we got Daniel. He's fighting freaking Elkins, so that's gonna be a
Hmm.
crazy fight.
That's gonna
So,
be wild.
we're excited to watch our general go to work, and I'm happy that I'm able to train. I'm blessed to be able to train with him every day for sure.
Heck yeah, brother. Okay, well, I'll let you get out of here. Anything you want to promote or anybody you want to shout out before we hop off?
Yeah, well, y'all follow my Instagram underscore Michael Aswell MMA, and then I'm gonna have, I guess, I'm gonna make it like a link tree or something. You can like go and look at all the social. I just made a TikTok.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't know how to work it, but I made it. Um, Shout out to my couple of my sponsors, the Ritz in Houston, my family's restaurant, Vilarcos, um, Aces Exhaust and Performance for your car needs in Houston, and Elevate Water's been taking care of me, helping me out, and give me some water and stuff. So that's all I got. I don't want to, there's a lot of people to thank, my family, friends, and everything, but
For sure.
thank you for having me, man. It's so funny because I just like during fight week, I just be trying to see what people are saying
Hmm.
about the fights and messing around and stuff. So, I type in my name and just kind of look around, and you just happen to pop up on Safari like a little
Yeah.
YouTube video just released. I'm like, all right, let me
Check
look. And then
that
I was
out.
watching it. I'm like, I mean, yeah, that's pretty much the game plan. And like, I was like, that's my game plan at least. Like,
So
you're
it's
pretty
funny you
spot
say,
on
okay,
with what you were saying about him and stuff. I was like, yeah,
yeah.
I see the same shit. Yeah, you're
I
saying about
literally
me.
watched all of your fights and all of his fights leading up to that and was like, okay, what can I extrapolate from this data and how do I think these guys are going to try to fight each other? And that's how I came to that conclusion.
It was great, bro. I
All
literally was watching because, like, I'm like, I didn't even know what the video was gonna be. I saw the breakdown and I was like, yeah, it's about right. Yeah. He said Aswell third rounder to win by decision. I'm like, yeah, if I win, it's probably gonna be the second or third or decision.
Yeah, yeah, because Bogdan can start fast, but like as it goes, dude, you're the gas tank right
Hey,
there.
he starts fast and I still won the first though.
I thought so, but yeah,
Easily, I think.
not all
I
of the
think I
judges
won
did.
easily.
Yeah,
But
I
it's
thought
all
so
good.
for sure.
It's all
But
good.
all
I
right,
guess I'll talk
well,
to Dana. Everything's good. So nice to meet you, bro. Nice to talk to you.
yeah, we'll have to get together again sometime after your first UFC fight, huh?
No doubt. Definitely do that.
Awesome, brother. All right, man. Take it easy. I'll
Yes,
catch you
sir.
around.